Hello.
Hello?
Hey, Justin Bubbles. I was like, who's Justin Bubbles on TeamSpeak for a second? And then I was like, okay, that must be you. How are you?
You just spoiled my whole Smurf. Rip.
God damn it. How are you then?
All fine, all fine. How about you?
I'm good. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you last week, but you said you were feeling quite ill in the games versus Loiser, so I didn't want to like grab you and like get back over here. We want to talk to you. But yeah, I thought now would be a good opportunity to ask you a couple of questions and stuff, and
Sure.
I'm sure the people in the chat will have some things to ask as well. But yeah, those set of games between Eighth Wonder there, kind of unexpected result.
Well, I guess most people would expect me to 3-0 him or something. But I mean, Wonder has always been an underrated 1v1 player, so... I mean, if you ask me if would I perform better if I had a gun to my head or something, then yes, probably yes. But still, Wonder is an underrated 1v1 player, so he can take games from anyone.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, after seeing Riot go 3-0 against him last week, a lot of people were like, okay, maybe, Eighth Wonder not quite as good as we may have expected, but obviously proving himself there against you. I wanted to ask you as well, I know you've said in the past about sort of why you choose the Britons a lot in these hidden Civ games and in the Balance Patch tournament as well, but I kind of wanted to go over with you a little more because I think a lot of people in the chat want to know as well, if they may have not heard this in the past, why it is that you seem to choose the Britons so much.
Because they're fun, I guess. That's what I always said. Like in the balance patch, it was more. They became more viable, but in standard standard AOC is more like just for fun. But in balance patch, you had like a feudal age was encouraged, so Britons would enter Castle Age with more army, and they would benefit from the extra upgrades they get once they hit Castle Age. So they had once you hit Castle Age in the balance patch, Britons get such a big advantage compared to some other civs. So they're actually viable in balance patch, but for regular AOC, it's well, I think actually in the map packs, Britons is a good choice because of the civ bans. But like in general, it's more just for fun.
Okay. So I mean, I think, definitely what you're saying about the range, I think as well in the past is like, the boost to range, they get this big power spike once you hit the Castle Age. For someone like you, is that kind of preferable to you because it helps with micromanagement, or it just makes your micro even stronger?
I think it would help pretty much anyone, but of course, if you have good micro, then you're probably going to be able to make more out of it. But yeah,
okay.
I feel like the reason I perform well with Britons is more because I macro well behind while abusing the range at the same time. I'm not like constantly microing to like make use of the 8 range. It's more like I'm just putting pressure while macroing behind, which is usually what's giving me the wins in the balance of power tournaments and the other Britons games they play.
Okay, so like taking advantage of the Britons, like cheaper TCs to be able to do that as well as making plenty of military at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. You put pressure, and at the same time, Britain's eco is pretty good, so you get ahead by playing aggressive, pretty much in the Castle Age.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because like a lot of people are choosing Mongols and a lot are choosing Celts as well in the hidden civs where the Mayans, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Huns, and the Vikings are banned. What do you actually think would be like the top 3 civs in game 1 and 4 where those civs are banned?
I don't think Mongols is a good choice at all, actually. But Celts and Britons, I think Celts is probably the best civ, and then Britons, and I don't really know the third civ. But I don't think Mongols is a good choice. Maybe Japanese or Chinese, maybe Persia. Okay. No, I don't know, but not Mongol. I would not pick Mongols. Maybe until like 5th, 6th, or 7th choice.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me actually, because I mean we've seen Mongols like consistently across the board. So what is it about the Mongols that you feel sort of lets them down then in this situation?
Their economy isn't really good. Sure, you have the hunt bonus initially, and you might get to fuel age fast, but still, with the fast fuel ages, also the economy is kind of it's tricky to manage. And at the same time, like the transition from Castle Age to Imperial is so long to get into the power units that Mongols have, and so expensive as well. So I feel like Mongols is are so vulnerable in the early stages of Imp, and also like the only options you have are pretty much knights, skirms, and crossbows, which I guess is the same for a lot of other civs. But yeah, I don't really like Mongols personally. Well, sure, other people might like them and prefer them, but I think they're actually pretty weak in 1v1.
Okay. Yeah, we saw actually a good example of that kind of between Chris and Juan, where Chris was playing the Spanish and sorry, the Chris was playing the Mongols and Juan was playing the Spanish, and he was just able to get so much more sort of aggression out there, whilst Chris was still trying to sort of fumble around getting his Mangadai upgraded and things like that. So that makes a lot of sense where you're coming from there. So I kind of want to ask as well, like going back to the sort of the Britons thing. You said you're using them just for fun, which obviously, you know, Age of Empires is all about having fun. But it makes me want to ask whether or not you're like 100% serious about this event, or if it's more like just sort of taking it easy, and then if things get a little bit close, sort of bringing out the serious stuff. Yeah.
I picked them because they're fun to play, but still, they aren't a bad civ by any means. They're still a very good 1v1 civ. But of course, if there was 100k on the line, I would always go for Mayans in 1v1 Arabia, for example. But like, still, I'm serious about this tournament, and I'm looking to win it. I think it's going to come down to me and Riot in the end. So, I mean, even if I draw now or maybe another game, I don't know how Riot is going to perform throughout the whole thing. But I think I can afford one draw and one or two draws, and at least as long as I beat Riot, I should win. But still, like, I think it's all going to come down to the games between me and Riot.
Yeah, and then how do you feel about Bad Jofro and Mr. Yo? I mean, at the moment, do you feel like Bad Jofro is more of a threat to you, or do you think Mr. Yo is more of a threat there?
I don't really fear either of them, to be honest. Well, I think it's okay. I think they are a level below me and Riot, so. But of course, they're good players, no doubt. They can also always make an upset or anything. So I'm going to enter those games as well with care and try to perform my best when I play against those players.
Okay, awesome. So as well, like with Riot, I mean, I think a lot of people would tend to agree that he is definitely like, you know, one and first or second in this event. Like when it comes to your games versus Riot, do you think a draw is likely, or do you think like you're still going to be able to get a big advantage over him there?
I don't know. I've had a good grip on him in previous tournaments, but of course it's unpredictable. The map pack, the civ choices, they will kind of be decisive. But I don't know. It's a draw is probably more likely than not, so to say. But I think if one player wins game 1 and game 2, they'll carry the momentum through and take the series. But yeah, it's kind of hard to predict right now. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, some people in the chat saying we need a best of 21 Riot versus TheViper. It's been a long while actually since we've had like a big best of 21. Like I remember, you know, when Dreams was casting, there was like loads of best of 21s going on right there.
Yeah.
Like, they were really hyped up. It's been a while since we've had any of that.
Yeah, I think like they should start making 1v1 finals a best of 21. That would actually be fun. Like the grand finals of 1v1. So. Like best of 21 is a good way to get a grasp of the skill difference and to get like the deserved winner, so to say. But yeah, it's also very time demanding, so I understand why you want to keep it shorter as well. But yeah, best of 21s are always fun, regardless of who's playing. I like to watch best of 21s as well, because like that's where players really try their best and want to win 100%.
Yeah, and you kind of have the opportunity for a bit more of a comeback on a bigger scale as well. Like, you know, if things aren't quite going your way, then you know, you can kind of come away from it and go back to it, and just, you know, it's a real test between the two players. I think it's more than just like a best of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, you're also probably going to play over 3, 4, maybe even 5 days, and so like one bad day doesn't like mean the series is over for you. So it's like in the end, the best player should win in a best of 21. So I like them.
Yeah. Yeah. One more thing as well, going back to the Empire Collective Cup. I think a lot of people want to ask about your game versus Loiza, game 2 on Arena. Like that was a really, really interesting game. It was a really good game. A lot of people like loved that one. I remember you saying to me after the game, like you thought Loiza should have won that. Like, what are your actual thoughts on that game? Like a little more about that.
Well, I was surprised at first when I saw he went Britons, but it makes sense I mean, afterwards, because in retrospect, because I told Eighth Wonder when Eighth Wonder was playing Louisa, I told Eighth Wonder that I think Turks can be a good choice to beat Aztecs on Arena. And I'm pretty sure Wonder has told Loisa that since they're in the same clan, and therefore
Yeah.
Loisa tried to blind counter me by going Britons, because Turks has no chance versus Britons at all. And
Yeah.
when I went, but I'm confident in like only one's mirror civs, so I wanted to go Aztecs to get an Aztec war, but he chose Britain, so it got pretty tricky. Yeah, and he got 4 relics against 1, so he definitely shouldn't have lost that. But I think in the end I out macroed him, like put pressure on multiple fronts, and he wasn't able to keep up. And in the end, I guess he didn't have the endurance to keep it going the whole game, because it went pretty long.
Yeah, I was going to say your raiding actually did a lot of damage. You killed a lot of his villagers in the back, but he didn't seem to be replenishing them quite as fast as you. And like towards the end of the game, you just had a little bit more wood and a little bit more food in the bank. So in the long term, your macro would have been enough to see you through, I guess. I think the pivotal point of that game, I think, was where you, in my opinion, was probably where you managed to kill off most of Loisa's gold units, and then you came in and took down his relics as well, and that was it. He had nothing then.
I don't think actually the gold units was the problem. The problem was they let me in on the wooden food eco, because that's probably where he struggled the most. Because in the end, he wasn't able to produce units, gold or wood, like even gold or wood or food. So, and you always want to have wooden food instead of gold, because there's no point having 1,000 gold if you don't have wood or food, because you can't make anything anyway then. But I think like the good thing I did was I let my villager count sink on purpose. So I would get a much bigger army early on, so I would take much more cost-efficient fights. So I was always playing with trash against gold units, and so I needed to take cost-efficient fights. And I had built up such a nice bank that I could let my villager count drop. So in the end, I just kept taking cost-efficient fights, and as soon as I was able to hit his eco, I think his bank wasn't nearly as big as mine when it comes to wood and food. So yeah, I guess that's what turned it in my favor.
Yeah, it was a great game. Anyway, thank you very much for having a chat. I think we'll have a chat with Eighth Wonder now as well, actually.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, but thank you very much. Good luck with the rest of your games in this event, and I'm sure we'll have another chat at some point as well.
Thank you. Sure.
All right. Well, I'll catch you later. Thank you very much.
Yes. See you.
Alrighty, guys. There you go. Some words from TheViper there about his games so far against Loisa. We were just talking about Loisa just there, and then obviously going back a little bit to Eighth Wonder. Awesome stuff. I think we'll have a chat with Eighth Wonder now as well. I think it would be great to have a little talk with him, because obviously a kind of unexpected result for him to go 2-2 right there. And I kind of want to know how he feels about that. I kind of want to know what he felt like he really did right, and what was, enabling him to get that victory. So if he can come on TeamSpeak, that would be great. I'll let you guys know in just a second. I don't see him yet, but we will see. So stick around for just a moment, and we'll see if we can have a chat with Eighth Wonder as well.